And now, WJCU University Heist takes a break from the Heist programming to bring you
Jewish Community Radio.
weekly half hour every Friday, where we bring you what's happening in the Jewish community, both locally and around the world. And I should tell people at first that we are, in fact, podcasting these now. We can't really put the audio in when we're doing remote shows, so we discovered we can actually podcast it and post them on YouTube. So if you look for Jewish Community Radio, you'll find us. And hopefully you'll enjoy some of these shows. And I know it always sounds better when there's audio added into it. I mean, music added in, but I guess that's the price of it. So it's still not bad, I hope. Well, we enjoy doing these shows, and we want them to bring it to people. A lot of people, including Yudi, who I saw today at a certain grocery store, was asking. I told him, "You're podcasting now?" I said, "Yep, you can listen in anytime you want to." He was happy because before this he could only listen in sometimes when he could. Now, like everybody else, you can catch these shows 24/7.
Hi,
And
Yudi.
hi, Yudi. And I hope to actually have these shows posted. Well, my hope is they have it posted ready to go on the schedule to go up at the show runs to 1 p.m., so figure 1:15 p.m. is when I hope to have these shows available as a premiere on YouTube. Anyhow, so Elisheva, we have some news to cover today. Do you want to kick it off?
Sure. So I didn't really have much this week, but I was going to tell you just some kind of personal stuff. So we have Hanukkah coming up,
Yeah.
and it's really fun navigating Hanukkah when you are one of very few Jewish people in your day-to-day work life.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then also, my kid is going with me to school now, and the big excitement has been about decorating my office for Hanukkah. Most years I really just don't pay attention, or I might bring an electric menorah, and then each day of Hanukkah I light it with the electric bulb just so people can see the marking of time and telling them that it's usually a night festival. So the other day we go to the store and I see the Hanukkah decorations, and then I posted about this
I
online
saw your post. It
actually.
was hilarious.
It was and I got some interesting comments. I mean, the idea is, first of all, I understand meaning well, and this has just been an ongoing trope in different social media groups. So a lot of retailers have realized that Jews have this holiday in December, and December is a big gift giving time for a lot of people. And
Not us.
this is not a new thing. This actually happened at least 100 years ago. It was realized we were an untapped market. So what's a way to bring us in? Oh, Jews have a holiday in December. And so that's when the gift giving started blowing up with Hanukkah. But I see the most interesting decorations, and I just feel like very rarely is a Jewish person ever consulted when these decorations have been created. I actually I've kind of gotten used to the Star of David on everything, even though it's not really a Hanukkah symbol. It's just a general Jewish symbol.
Well,
I'm
you know
very
why? There's only really only one Hanukkah symbol, and so they have to invent more to market
well. There's a
more.
menorah, there's a dreidel, but
Okay, two. That's
all right. But anyway, it's just been an ongoing inside joke. A friend of mine who lives in Idaho was one of the first times I saw a retail Hanukkah display that was actually accurate. It did not have gefilte fish and matzo ball soup in the display. And this was in Idaho, so thank you to that store there. But that's usually just an ongoing thing. It's like, oh, okay, there's a Jewish holiday coming up, and we will see things that might be associated with other holidays, but not that particular one. I think my favorite was seeing challah near a Passover display at a store once.
that's funny.
And just challah and Passover, no, that's just the one
Doesn't
time we
work.
do not have challah.
Doesn't
No.
work.
So so at this particular store I was at the other day, I actually, so like I said, I've gotten used to the tinsel garlands. I've gotten used to, there was a Star of David made out of a tinsel wired into the Star of David. But have you ever seen ornaments themed for Hanukkah, Fred? Like
No.
ornaments.
Like, we don't use ornaments. Like, why?
Well, because I think some people actually believe that. I mean, there are people who have taken the idea of a tree and decided to decorate it with Hanukkah type things and call it a Hanukkah bush. But I don't do that, and Fred, I know you don't do
Ridiculous.
that.
Yeah, ridiculous.
But and so anyway, the so when I posted, I got some interesting comments. I had some people like, well, where we are, there's nothing up. You know, you should be grateful, and at least they try. But I'm just sitting there still like I would rather that people actually do some research before trying. It's weird, and I was actually going to give like a positive story about that. So at my job with my kid going to my school now, and as it works out now, she's the only Jewish student. The kids are very, very interested in what we do for holidays. So they're actually trying. They were trying to create some kind of celebration in December. They were going to do it the last week before winter break. I pointed out that Hanukkah is not going to be around Christmas. It's going to be a lot earlier. In fact, it's starting right after Thanksgiving. So they're going to move up the Hanukkah part a little earlier. And we were just discussing different things. And I remember I got a lot of respectful questions about whether something is a practice that everybody can enjoy or just Jewish people can enjoy. And I liked the conversation about it. I mean, just I don't mind people learning and I don't mind sharing. I just have a problem when somebody is just going to like do a very brief glance at, okay, this must be what Jews do.
Oh, God, no.
And and now we're going to put it out there. I mean, like I said, I had someone ask me when I talked about gelt, they were like, "Oh, gefilte fish?" I said, "No, no, I'm not giving you gefilte fish." So gelt is the chocolate coins,
Yes.
just to make sure people know.
Yes.
So that's been my fun with Hanukkah. I mean, and normally in my house, I don't really do a lot of decorating. We put out our menorahs. I might buy some interesting colored candles. Some people use oil.
And that's
Some
all we
people
do. I mean, it's just, it's a,
some people
this,
decorate,
but
but
this is
not
a minor,
everybody.
well, here's the thing. Hanukkah is a minor holiday on the Jewish calendar. It really is. So when people go ahead and they start to do things to promote Hanukkah and make a big deal out of it and try to have a Hanukkah or a holiday party to include the Jews, my first reaction is, wait a minute, you're not doing a Passover party. You're not doing a Jewish New Year party. You're not doing a Sukkot party. You're not doing a Shavuot party. So why a Hanukkah party? Really?
Well,
Come on.
but to be fair, almost all the other holidays are Yom Tov, and so they're kind of restricted. We're restricted in travel. We're
Wait a minute,
restricted in
but you have
fancy parties.
but you have intermediary days. If you're going to do a thing about Passover, you're not going to do a thing about Passover. We do Hanukkah. Hanukkah is like Arbor Day. It's a small holiday, and that's it. There's just really no reason to do a Hanukkah party. I mean, it's a it's a minor holiday.
And the gift giving was just something that came about when as Jewish people were mixing more with non-Jewish people, and the
Yeah.
kids were asking, "Oh, hey, how come I don't get presents like my friends down the street do?"
Listen,
So
the only
it's really not the gift giving fiesta that a lot of people think that it is.
yeah. In fact, if you really want to know, that dreidel game, it's a gambling thing that children do. And I love when I hear things like, "Oh, dreidel, it's so and so." No, it's not. Kids play with a spinning top. Yay! It landed on this. Oh, it landed on that. It's a children's game.
It's still fun when you're an adult.
I can see that if, let's say, you're doing adult beverages based on victories.
And
Uh,
and not chocolate coins.
yeah, the kids win chocolate coins. Basically, here's your prize. No, no, no. It's a kids game.
Well,
Small little kids game. The ones pre-K, kindergarten, first grade, the little kids games.
oh, I'll tell my almost 20-year-old
She's
who still likes to play dreidel.
she's doing it for I don't know what, but anyhow.
Well, we're going to talk more about Hanukkah next week
Yeah,
as we
let's
get
stop.
closer.
It's not Hanukkah.
Right. I was just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
So, what is going to be happening next week is Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And there's been a run on kosher turkeys.
And one store was selling them for an unbelievably low price. And I think what happened was
They are
that
gone.
they're
Gone.
very, very quickly.
Gone. That's why I went to Parts Unknown to get mine.
And you got some, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I did. Because I just remembered that if you just sometimes think outside of the box, you're successful. So, but yeah, so it is true. Jewish people do celebrate Thanksgiving. And even if we don't celebrate it exactly on Thursday, a lot of Jewish people might have a turkey dinner as part of Shabbat dinner. So, yes, there was a valid run on kosher turkeys. But
that's because that one store had them for an unbelievable price, and people saw them and they started heading to that store to grab them as fast as they could. So
there is another store that has them at a very close to that price, and if you check your various social media discussion groups, they are all talking about it still.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and the prices were so low that it deserves to be talked about like that. It was really it was just wild prices.
That's every year, though.
Well, what happens is that
that is every year. I've been buying that special turkey for years.
But this one store is selling them the kosher turkey at below non-kosher prices.
It's actually it's just slightly above the non-kosher price for that particular store.
Incredible. Anyhow, but still, it's but Thanksgiving is a great holiday, of course, and we're actually going to be live the day after Thanksgiving. And I haven't yet decided if we're going to play music or what kind of music we can do for bumper. I got to figure that out. But we might be able to have some kind of music that we can play on YouTube and not get have a problem with, because we do want to have the show podcasted. And we're going to talk about the Jewish roots of Thanksgiving. Yes, they do exist. And that we'll see them for next week. But they're... Should I give it away?
Talk more. I think we should talk more about it today, because next week we can devote more time to Hanukkah.
Okay, fine. Okay, well let me summarize it for you. Okay, when the pilgrims, they wanted to do a feast, they were religious people, very religious people. So they went ahead and they decided, okay, we're going to look into the Bible to find out how we can do a biblical holiday celebration for a feast of thanks. Because these were highly religious people, so they looked in the Bible, and they're looking through, and they found what holiday?
Sukkot.
Exactly, the Tabernacle Feast, and
which is also Chag HaAsif, the festival of the ingathering of the harvest.
Yes, which made a lot of sense for the time of year, and they decided to have their feast, their celebration, and they modeled it a bit after the meal with, and that's kind of how you had this big festive meal. Of course, it has definitely evolved over the years, but still, that's really how we are. So we'll go from there. I mean, it's a nice feast. We enjoy it. Now, one thing I'll tell you is, interestingly enough, is that and this is a big question. I get. Do Jews celebrate Thanksgiving? Yes, we do.
It's an American holiday. It's the same as celebrating the 4th of July.
And a lot of rabbis have pointed out historically how we do okay, well, there's certain rules to holidays in Judaism. One, we don't celebrate the non-Jewish holidays, as in Christian holidays. That's not our holiday. We don't celebrate those. However, if it's a holiday of the state, we do celebrate, as you said, Thanksgiving, July 4th, Independence Day. We celebrate those. We do commemorate Veterans Day, etc., etc. But when it comes to Thanksgiving, okay, there are some Jews who don't celebrate Thanksgiving. And who are they? Well, there are some Jews who basically say, well, it's a non-Jewish holiday. I don't know what to do, but they're technically, religiously, they're wrong about that. Usually, the people who are extremely religious. I hate that term. I really hate that term. Some Jews who. Okay, but also here's the real issue we have.
It's the idea that we're supposed to be thankful every day. We're
Exactly, what I was
supposed
gonna
to be
say.
grateful to God every day.
Exactly.
We have a belief that we're not supposed to set aside a specific day. The controversy also comes up with Mother's Day and Father's Day. We're supposed to be showing honor and respect to our parents every day, not just
Correct.
on a set aside day. Even though I'm not going to complain when my kids make me breakfast in bed and give
Oh.
me my alone time on that specific day in May. But
Oh.
the point is that's the often heard argument when I've spoken to Jews who personally do not celebrate Thanksgiving. I've also heard, well, that's a lot of extra cooking to do when Shabbat's the very next day. I've also heard a pro. It's a wonderful holiday for getting together with your family, and it's not a hot. And since it's not a Yom Tov, you don't have to worry about the driving or the travel restrictions.
But
You get together and you're having a good time because everybody's off of work.
wait, let me elaborate on the first part first before I get to the second part about preparing a big meal. The fact is that Friday night dinner is our big meal of the week. Everyone gets together. At least your second part here, but let me first get to the first part. We tend to have an elaborate Friday night dinner. It is our big meal. So a lot of people will say, listen, I'm doing a big meal Friday night. I'll just do the whole thing Friday rather than Thursday because who wants to do two giant meals in a row? So for
Right.
us on Shabbat Friday night, that's our big meal of the week. Traditionally, we will have. I mean, I've been in houses where they have two appetizers, and one of them, for example, at one of my neighbor's house. Oh, what wonderful people! They make not only gefilte fish, but next to it they have a piece of salmon. Or they'll make a salmon gefilte fish, and next to it a different slice of fish. So they'll make a, and then their soup bowls is phenomenal. It's just large, and they do a really large meal. I'm not going to go to the meal itself. You'll see two kinds of main dishes that you can take yourself. They pass on the plate, and side dishes galore. Not to mention these dips and all kind of things that people have fun with, and salads, and you name it. It's a giant meal, Friday night
It's
dinner,
a 6 or 7 course dinner
at least.
every week.
So to these people, it's why bother making a separate Thanksgiving meal? We're gonna do it tomorrow anyhow. So you make it one meal. And so what happens is Friday night for Shabbat, the meal becomes turkey. So that's
But you
really
see,
what happens.
I agree with that pragmatic approach more. I agree that it's well, I rather just cook the one big meal when I normally cook the big meal. And I'm not mad at that at all.
Well,
I'm
well,
not
well,
I'm not I'm not mad at it. I'm not.
let's look at let's look at the other pragmatic approach. You make a Thanksgiving turkey bigger than you can possibly eat, and Friday night, dun dun dun, the leftovers, which is always great. Turkey's always better the next day.
That's actually what we hold by.
So you end up
Is
having a double Thanksgiving meal.
Right. So, and that's actually a thing. This is another thing that it's around on the Jewish internet. People have created these books of if certain holidays were made into Jewish holidays based off of the way that we created our laws. And so, if you think about it based off of that logic, then you could say a lot of people do the diaspora day of Thanksgiving on Friday rather than on Thursday. I'm going to write this another time. And but I also do think of it as like sometimes you might have family that lives 2, 3 hours away, and you might not want them at your house for Shabbat, but they can come up on a Thursday. They're off work, so that's where there's that other side of it.
But also on the same side, it's also common, especially during the winter months, to have guests come over on a Friday night dinner, and you end up having
Mm-hmm.
family coming over. So, for example, I mentioned that I've eaten next door by a neighbor of mine several times. Friday night's a big night for that. I don't like. Well, I don't usually go out in the summer. I'm tired by the end of the week, but Friday night's a big day for inviting people over and having a big table filled with people. For example, in my family in the sukkah, we always have a table which is bigger than our family would normally use. Why?
Mm-hmm.
To invite guests over at. So Shabbat meals and Jewish holiday meals do tend to result in having a few people over. It could be one person, two people, a grandmother, a grandfather, or whatever. We tend to invite people over and have a little bit of extended family, or you come over, you're family. You come over for a Shabbat meal, you're like any other member of the family. Come on, sit down. So yeah, we do that. So so that covers both of your points about food and about family. So we do that, and like I said, there's always somebody in the Jewish community who says, "Oh, I don't want to do this." Okay, fine, do whatever you want to do. But the reality is that we always celebrate, as a rule, we celebrate the holidays of the nation we're in because it's only
Mm-hmm.
right. We are in the United States. Thanksgiving is a holiday here. We do it there. Now, I've seen, by the way, videos from Israel where people try to buy a whole turkey. Now, you get turkey as well, but it's rare to find a whole turkey in supermarkets.
I was actually worried about a lot of the ovens that I saw when I was in Israel. How would you fit the turkey in? A lot
You
of
know,
home ovens are kind of on the smallish side.
it reminds me of an old joke about Judaism. This lady was cooking a roast. Just got married, and she cut the tip of the roast off and put it inside the pan. Well, why did that? Husband asked. Well, I don't know. My mother did that. So I said, okay, let's ask. Was it a mother? Why do that? I don't know. My mother always did that. Huh. Let's go ask. They asked the bubby, the grandmother. Tell me, why always cut the edge open, roast, and put it in the side? She goes, it wouldn't fit in the pot any other way. So yeah, we have our own funny stories of how traditions end up happening, and but you know what? We have fun with it. And Thanksgiving is a great example. It's a wonderful day where we celebrate together as families and extended families and get together. And it's always a lot of fun. And the children play. And some years it's Hanukkah too. And the kids will play dreidel and have fun. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, we do pick up on Hanukkah, the various traditions and have fun with it, and well, why not? But please don't put the Christmas stuff in because it's not Christmas. Hanukkah is not the Jewish Christmas. Please don't do it. We'll talk about more next week.
We'll
But
just we'll keep reiterating that over the next couple of weeks.
yeah, you may as
So
well.
so
I'm sure
Fred,
we
I
will.
don't really have a news story, but I was going to share something interesting that's kind of philosophical, and I want to keep the names and the identifying details out,
Well,
but I
I have
still
a
want to
news
read
story.
it.
Can I give you a news story right now, real before you go into yours?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
This is big. Remember last week, Elisheva, when I said our answer to anti-Semitism is we build. Well, guess what? Chabad's open synagogue in Twinsburg. Yes, Twinsburg's going to have the first
Oh, I thought
synagogue.
you were going to tell me it was on the moon, but okay.
That would be cool. But it'd be expensive. Although
Well, the
Shatner's,
running joke, just the
yeah,
running joke, is that Chabad is literally everywhere. People travel and they always look for a Chabad house because you know for sure you're going to find access to kosher food and possibly Shabbat hospitality, no matter
listen,
where you go.
I'm about to say Shatner's been there. He's Jewish. Been to
Hmm.
space. Not to the moon, but the moon's kind of blasé these days. Just go to space. That's more cool. But yeah, Cleveland Jewish news article. So that's pretty cool. So I'll let people read that themselves at cjn.org. And I thought that was just a cool thing that, hey, Chabad on, in Twinsburg. So really cool. And go ahead with your story now, please.
Okay, so this is a sort of a philosophical conflict I'm having. So as you know, as an educator, when because I have this potential to influence children, when I'm teaching, I have to be very, very careful about my personal views. I need to remain neutral. I need to be able to teach students how to think, not what to think. That this is my job as an educator. I can discuss politics as long as I'm presenting all facets of a political argument, just to make sure we all understand this, right, Fred?
Absolutely.
And I would say it's the same actually with a lot of different sectors of people, not just educators. I would especially feel it's important for anyone who might be in a position to implement policy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But then I also wonder, like, how much of your personal life should we worry about, or how much of your personal stances on things should we worry about if you're in a position of implementing policy? So I'm not going to identify who this is from or anything about it. I just want to read it. This came off of social media and it's a couple years old by now. Meaningful service this evening at temple with Rabbi. Powerful message about the tension between hope and vigilance we Jews have faced since the time of Torah and continue to confront today. Greatly
Okay.
appreciated hearing about his experience, the rabbis, spending time on the Palestinian side of the Green Line, learning from people impacted by the Israeli occupation. It is easy to feel that vigilance must be our priority. However, we must not lose hope for ourselves and for all those who are persecuted, because focusing only on vigilance would allow the darkest of forces to win. When a Palestinian man living under and being hurt regularly by Israeli policies posts a poignant remembrance for Holocaust Memorial Day, there is hope.
I
So I found this. I personally didn't find it. I found it like I didn't know about it until somebody had sent this to me, and I wanted to know if you could see the problematic parts of it.
Well, I tell you what, okay? Let me address that with a news article on from
Mm-hmm.
that's on Jerusalem Post, and best way I can describe it as, and I don't have it in front of me, unfortunately, but the Palestinian Authority is considering dropping their pay to slay policy. Yes, you kill a Jew and you're Palestinian, they pay your family a stipend. They pay you. You get killed. You get killed while murdering Jews. They send checks to your family forever. Do I believe that's going to end? I don't think so.
No,
But
I think it's just de-incentivizing it. But
y-
but for some people, even if you take that part out, I don't think it makes a difference. So my problem with this, I was going to say, is when I'm looking at this from a wording point of view. It is suggesting that any Jewish people, the Jewish people are occupying the Palestinian area, that we're
gee,
occupying it.
if I
Um,
remember correctly, that was land that God says in the Bible to Abraham and his children for all generations. This is yours. Palestine. The name comes from a name that was given to the land by people who chased Jews out to give it a different name to take away the link to Jews. The land is Judea.
so you would think that this tweet was, well, this was post was put out by someone who is in support of the Palestinian situation,
Clearly,
possibly might even go to the level of BDS.
clearly. Hey, listen.
And
I
and
have
then
the. Let's
okay.
have here. I hate to say, okay, we gotta get going here. Please email us your questions at fred@jewishcommunityradio.org and elisheva@jewishcommunityradio.org. I hate cutting Elisheva short in the middle of a news article, but we're are about to go here. Candlelighting time for tonight, Friday, November 19th, 2021 is no later than 4:46 p.m. Yes, we start Shabbat before most people get out of work, and Shabbat ends at 5:47 p.m. With that, wishing everybody Shabbat Shalom. Sorry for cut you off. Elisheva will have to continue that next week.
Next
Shabbat
week.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.